Miller is a 5-year-old off-the-track thoroughbred that my friend sent to me so that I could help her get him sold. When he came to me, he had only had a handful of rides on him since leaving the track. These clips are from one of my first rides on him. This was my first time cantering him under saddle. When thoroughbreds first come off the track, they have the tendency to be strong and heavy in your hands. They like to try and pull against you. Miller had one of the harder canters I've had to work on. He wasn't very balanced, but he also has a downhill build, which doesn't help him be able to balance on his hind end. But he was very strong and he was pretty adamant that he was going to pull against me. So there's a lot of work that went into his canter. This is his first time jumping. He starts off a little freaked out by the poles. It truly just depends on the horse as far as how they react to seeing their first jump. You know, not all off-the-track thoroughbreds are going to act like this and run out and try and dodge the jumps. You know, some of them go right over it like they've been doing it their whole lives, and some of them are like Miller, where it takes them a little longer to kind of understand what's being asked of them. Miller started off being a huge chicken about jumps. You guys can't see in this video, but before I ever trotted him over the first jump, I walked him up to it first, and he was terrified to walk up to it, but we just kept working through it, and he definitely got more relaxed and confident jumping throughout the rest of the ride. This was probably like his 14th or 15th ride, probably like my 7th or 8th ride on him. This was the first day he started moving to the bit and accepting my contact. He was a very resistant horse, so it took a little bit of time to get him where I wanted him to be. This is his first time doing trot pulls. As you can see, his canter still wasn't very good here. He would trot really fast and then try and fall into his canter instead of lifting himself up into it. This is the day that I started introducing circles to him. I like doing a lot of circles with all of my horses because it helps teach them to balance themselves. This was his second jump school, and you can tell he's gotten a lot braver. You know, it wasn't pretty, but he kept going over the jump instead of around it. This was the first time he'd ever seen a vertical. So he started getting pretty brave about trotting jumps, but this was going to be the first time he would have had a canter jump, and he was like, no thanks. So this was my first ride outside with him, his first time seeing a Liverpool. I introduced him to a lot of the other fillers today as well. And in true Miller fashion, he started off not wanting to walk up to any of the jumps. You know, the Liverpool was a definite no from him. But I think even the jumps he was scared of, he still went over them the first time he was asked. So, you know, he's definitely been building confidence with jumping. His canter has started getting a lot more balanced, and he's able to hold a canter all the way up to the jump without breaking into a trot like he did before. He still was not terribly big on the idea of cantering out of a line, but he got much better with it after this, and I think that was actually the last run out he ever did throughout his training. He also randomly decided that he had a right to left lead change today. This is the first little course he ever did. This was his first time doing canter pulls. Today was his first experience with gymnastics. He doesn't have the greatest front end, so I knew as soon as he started getting more confident with jumping, I wanted to start doing more gymnastics with him so that we can improve his technique. A few weeks before this, Miller got sold to a lady that kept him in my training. All the videos up until this point have been from April, and now we're like mid-May, because after he got sold, it wasn't as crucial that I had video of him because I no longer needed to market him. With this ride, I spent a lot of time working on getting him to lift himself up into the canter and not falling into it and pulling on my hands and getting heavy. And today he also figured out his walk to canter. At this point in his training, there's no longer any runouts. He's very confident and knows his job, and you can point him at anything and he'll jump it. These next few videos are from the last ride that I've had on Miller so far. They're from just a few days ago, and I just wanted to show how relaxed and balanced he's gotten. His simple changes have gotten really good. He's able to just trot a few steps and immediately go right back to a canter. Just the whole demeanor of this horse has changed from when I first got him. When he first got here, he was very tense and nervous, and he just wanted to get faster when you were on him. And now he can trot around on the buckle. He has much more control of his pace because he is so much more balanced.